to hypnosis, you know, everybody's thinking of the person swinging the medallion or whatever and snapping their finger and their heads go down and they come up. From now on, you like what you thought hypnosis was before you did it.
Yeah.
Was that what that was? Or?
So that's what it is. You induce what's called somnambulism. So it's an altered state of consciousness where the critical faculty of your mind, specifically the majority of your prefrontal cortex, slows down enough where you can bypass the critical faculty of the mind. And basically, the terminology would be like to install a suggestion. It is mind control. Every hypnotist you ever talk to will say, no, this is not mind control. It's innocent. Why has the CIA used it for years? Why have they done so many research studies into the power of things like hypnosis and these altered states of consciousness to leverage people against their will? And that's what I was doing. I just happened to be on the same team as the person across from me. But if I was someone who was a con artist, I could have very easily persuaded them to pay me more money, to keep coming back. Like, that's the power of these practices. And therein lies the danger. So to answer your question, though, I started helping friends and family. Word got out because, once again, these were like borderline miraculous results. I thought I was doing it innocently. I kept researching the neuroscience of it. I sold my tattoo removal business that I had to focus on coaching and hypnosis full time. Enters TikTok. Everybody's like, you got to be on TikTok. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do it. I started posting about hypnosis, and then all of a sudden I remember, I read the book, The Law of Attraction. I remember manifestation. Why don't I talk about that and tie it into hypnosis and reprogramming their mind? Boom, within 6 months, I had 1 million followers teaching people how to, quote unquote, manifest faster. But all it was, there's two sides to this. One, it was selling snake oil a lot of the times, because that's the other thing the devil loves to do, is he loves to convince us that these practices work. And most of them don't. There is a dark spiritual reality to certain things like witchcraft and whatnot. But certain things like manifestation is just a fancy term for goal setting and goal achieving. It's reaping what you sow. If you think you're going to sit there and hope and wish and pray and think some special thoughts and try to bend a spoon with your mind while you're sitting at home being lazy, and either you're going to get all that money, that's not how it works. But I was saying that, right? I was like, just like, let's hypnotize you and reprogram your mind so that you can manifest faster.
Wow.
But all the people that I met, didn't matter how much money they made, celebrities, athletes, even the ones that believed in manifestation or read the law of attraction, they never attributed their success to that. Why? Because they realized that's not what it is. It's called working hard. Success looks a lot like just hard work over time, information times action. You know what I mean? Like,
wow. But
I was wrapping it in this new age bow, combining it with the objectively bad things like altered states of consciousness. And I just blew up on TikTok and just started getting so many clients. And I'd go on TikTok live and I'd sell like $3,000 of hypnosis audios that like I didn't really even believe in. I was just like, it's like sad to think about, because at the time I convinced myself I was actually helping.
Oh my.
But that's what the devil did, is like he convinced me. And I want to be careful here, because I don't want to sound like Adam and Eve, where they like don't take responsibility for their, like, it was the devil. That is true. But I was caught up in it. I was lost in it. And I had all the money. I was making more money in a month than people made in a year. Bought a brand new G-Wagon, go to Vegas and blow a bunch of money. My wife and I going on vacations. And I was like, at the time, the craziest part, I was like, oh, this is all from God. Little did I know, not every open door is from God.
Talk about that, because I think so many people are bamboozled. They're fooled at the results of partnering with this type of stuff. And I think sometimes, I had a guest that talked about, he said, I feel like I had demonic favor. And I'm just like, why wouldn't the enemy make it easier, or make you walking in darkness successful, make it rewarding, so that you can stay in it, so that you could be convinced, one, that it helped you, and two, you could evangelize on his terms.
It's all about idolatry. He wants to convince you, one, that everything else is more important than God, if you even believe there's a God. And the worst case scenario is that you believe you're your own God. And so if you can name it and claim it, and you can think it in your mind and hold it in your hand, like, what do you need God for? And so he does one of two things. The devil goes to extremes. He helps people get whatever they want from a material perspective, because they don't need God, right?
Yes.
Or the opposite direction, the person living a paycheck to paycheck, who's in constant fear of money, What do you think they're thinking about the most? Are they thinking about God and giving back and ministry, or are they thinking about how they're going to pay their electric bill? And here's the catch: you always worship what you fear.
Oh my God.
So what do you think the devil's going to do? He wants you to live in fear of these things. He wants you to be afraid of money. So it's one or the other, bro.
You look, Matthew chapter 6, read the whole thing. If you start from, I don't remember because I just taught on this recently, the Lord goes on a tangent and it talks about, Matthew 6, it goes from the Lord's Prayer and it just continues to go. And it talks about, hey, no man can serve two masters. Either he's going to love one or hate the other. Then it just takes a pivot that so you think it says, well, you can't serve God and money. That leads to, some of my favorite passages where it says, hey, don't be anxious. Don't be afraid about what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, all of these things, and worry about your life because the Lord knows you need these things. Don't be like the pagans because they're consumed with these things. So I thought it was interesting that the Lord is bringing up, hey, you got to choose one, love one or hate the other. You can't serve two masters. You can't serve God and money. And I'm like, I know the audience that God is talking or that Jesus was talking to in this moment.